Iran's deputy foreign minister has told the BBC that the ball is now in America's court to prove is ready to negotiate a new nuclear deal. Majid tax to arrive, and she said Tehran was prepared to consider compromises if the United States was willing to discuss that. Lifting sanctions. The US has sent two warships to the Middle East to put pressure on Iran to reach an agreement with attack Tehran. She confirmed that the second round of talks this month will be held on Tuesday in Geneva. He spoke to Watch chief international correspondent Lisa said in Tehran, "We read real viewer. We are ready to discuss this on other issues related to our program, provided that they are ready also to talk about the sanctions, because sanctions, as we call it, illegal sanctions, that are, those sanctions have to be also on the table. Watch are not accept the notion that Iran has to do certain things without the other side's committing itself to do their share, so it has to be a give and take. That is what compromise is all about. All sanctions. Let's discuss was sanctions you're talking about. We hear some reports of the US has moved away from its demand that you have zero nuclear enrichment. Have they accepted? You have to pose this question to the United States, but what are you that you were discussing now certain in the last year that was 3.67%. It'll be around that. You're not talking about a specific figure here, but it seems to our study have already passed. That is that the issue of zero enrichment is an issue anymore. So they've dropped that demand. As I said, you have to ask this question is version, but I'm just not, as we are on the table. You know what the deal as far as we're concerned. Zero engagement is not on the table. Are you optimistic a deal can be reached? It is too early to say whether to reach an agreement. You're after rundown to one cannot say for sure. Burning by the fact that he experienced the war in the middle of negotiations or one meeting is not enough to assure us that the other side you serious. But the first round was more or less a good one, a good start on. Let's see what will happen down the road. President Trump's latest remarks says that regime change be very good thing to see in Iran. When you hear that, what you think is that really does that what is all about? No, that is a clear example of a mixed signal. But what do they tell you in the private messages? No, they are not hearing these slogans in the private conversation. That I can tell he's made it clear that if the diplomacy doesn't succeed, it will be very traumatic for Iran. The war, and particularly those who have military initiated this suggestion. If you feel that this is an existential threat, we will respond accordingly. Do you feel it is an existential threat that is still have a battle for survival? I really don't know. I prefer not to comment on this because it is not wise even to think about such a very dangerous and because if we come to that formed, therefore for the whole region, the really miss, and we do not want to see that happening. Minister talked to Ranchi as we speak. Is it your feeling that Iran is on the brink of a breakthrough in diplomacy or another war? We are hopeful that each beach on the get the job done through peaceful means, although one cannot be 100% sure. That is why we have made every measures precautionary measures to be alert, it not to be so fries again, the not to use any chance to defend ourselves. It's Marco Rubio said President Trump prefers a deal, but he said it's hard to get a deal with Iran. He says it's up to that the bodies in America's caught on mean they have to prove that they want to have a deal with us on. If there is a sincerity, see the sincerity on the fore. I'm sure that the VVD be on a road to have an agreement.